in the pot, and then you got the steam that's over top of it. That steam is
water,
air, yo.
Water becoming air is no longer water. It's air.
But it's still H2O.
That's because what? Oxygen, what?
It's still hydrogen.
That's because water is made up of, it has a part oxygen in it.
Yo, oh my God, yo. You playing devil advocate right now.
I'm not playing devil advocate.
When water becomes steam, right? Water becomes hydrogen. Water is H2O. I don't know if that's 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen, or if it's 2 parts hydrogen.
2 parts hydrogen.
Alright, so it's 2 part hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. Right? So when you boil in a pot of water, right? You hold your hand over above it, you feel that shit because that motherfucking water, that shit that's getting burned off is becoming steam, and it's still water. But it's also air. It's air. It's got oxygen in it.
So
it's got oxygen in it. Yo, dust, right? Dust, right? Dust, right? Look. Dust particles, right? If we got a whole bunch of dust, if I take a broom right now and we got a bunch of dust on the floor, I can sweep across the floor and then there'll be a whole bunch of dust in the air. That don't make the dust air because that shit gonna settle and turn back into, that shit is gonna fall back on the fucking ground and it's gonna be what it was, and I can do it again and then it's gonna go back up. Well, if you do that shit with water, like you can say, you can do that shit with water, right? You can do that shit with water and you could make some fucking steam and you could catch it and then it could fall back into the pot. Eventually that shit gonna be all gone. Eventually that shit gonna burn off. You know what I'm saying? Cause water turns into air. You can catch that motherfucker and turn it into a solid, turn that shit into ice. Water becomes solid, liquid, and motherfucking air and shit. Like it does all three. The dust particles that you can inhale is only because they broken down into such a small part that they can fit up your nostrils. You feel me? They still solid. They're just so small that the wind can pick them up.
So you don't think it's dust particles floating in the air right now?
Yeah, it is. That's why we got snot. That's why we got snot in our nostrils to protect us from that shit. When you sneeze and you don't know why you sneezing, it's because you got snot in your fucking nose that's protecting you. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that we inhaling right now, we inhaling dust particles right now. We inhaling dust particles. And that shit get in your fucking nose and shit. And your snot catches that shit. But when it's too much and it get past that, make you sneeze, boom, you sneeze it all out. You build more snot pop. You build more snot and shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't change. Like the fucking dust particles, that's a solid. That's not air. That's not air. For water to turn into steam, you don't need fire.
So
you
air
just need
is
heat.
water? So water is air?
Water can become air if manipulated correctly, which is not hard to do. You just heat it up. You know what I'm saying? Any dumbass can heat up water. You feel me? And water can become solid.
But
just freeze it. Fire can't do that. Earth can't do that. Motherfucking wind can't do that. Wind, you can't turn wind. Yo, what we're inhaling right now, we're inhaling H2O as we're speaking. You feel me? There's water in the air. You know what I'm saying?
There's a whole bunch of other shit in the air.
Right, there's a whole bunch of other shit. But there's water in the air. So if we turn this motherfucker, if we just just turn this motherfucking room into like 80 below zero and shit, there would be ice that would form on the floor. You feel me? Ice would be forming on the walls and shit, and on the ceiling. This shit would look like a fucking ice box.
And if we let gas leak in here and strike a match, whoosh.
That's because of some other shit, yo. That's because gas in itself has.
And what is gas?
Gas is a bunch of other chemicals that are combustible.
But what is gas?
Gas is not fire. That are other.
I'm not saying gas is fire. What I'm saying, gas is air.
Gas can have a state where
you can't see it.
But gas can also have a liquid state.
Gas can have a liquid state.
Gas can't have a solid state. Gas can have a solid state if we freeze that shit enough. You seen that movie? What's the 2012? Not 2012. The other movie. The Last Day on Earth. What the fucking movie was called? The day before day before last or whatever. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right? Where it got cold as shit, and then the gas started freezing in the motherfucking helicopter and shit. And niggas like, damn, gas don't freeze, but it's cold as shit outside, so gas do freeze. Liquid can freeze.
This is what I'm saying.
If it's cold enough.
This is what I'm saying. Water, how powerful it is, changes due to its environment.
Yeah, yo.
So water is easily manipulated more so than any other element.
Yo, the metaphors for life are delicate, but they're standard, yo. They're standard, yo. They're standard.
I just don't.
We got to roll, yo.
So
it's 11:54, yo. We got to roll, yo.
So that's the conclusion.
We have yet to come to a conclusion.
So this is postponed.
No, motherfucking thinks water